Halo is, now hear me out, the most underutilized franchise in the world, and it's absolutely tragic. There are 12 Halo games, 6 of which are part of the main Master Chief story, 2 of which are basically mobile games, and there's 2 spin-offs, ODST and Reach, and the remaining 2 are RTS games. Halo Wars, Halo Wars 2. These games don't even begin to scratch the surface of the lore and the stories in the Halo universe. There's over 30 full-length books, and they've remade the same game 3 times now. The entire Halo 1 game is literally half of one book. The other half of the book is super interesting, and it follows the scattered UNSC forces, which are the military, for people that don't know, trying to establish a base on the Halo Ring, which is an ancient sci-fi structure in the shape of a ring that we don't yet know the purpose of, and they crash landed on it after escaping the Pillar of Autumn, which is a UNSC spaceship. And the story follows them having to sneak around and regroup, because humans are way weaker than the aliens that are scouting out the place. After regrouping, they have to fight up a massive cliff against the Covenant to re-establish a base in a good vantage point. The Covenant being the aliens, by the way. And then later the Flood attacks, which are an ancient parasitic hive mind creature. One cool bit of lore is Private Jenkins, who you actually encounter in the Halo 1 game, I'm pretty sure. He gets turned into a Flood combat form, and he gets captured by his UNSC brothers in arms for study and testing. Like Captain Keyes, Jenkins has a harrowing battle in his head while he's possessed by the Flood to try and tell the UNSC where the Flood are going to be coming from, while fighting off instinctual urges to kill them. There's huge scale battles with tanks and artillery and ambushes and strategy from both sides, using their individual kinds of weapons and vehicles. There's even a B story of an elite and a grunt hunting down the Master Chief during the Halo 1 game, and they both have their own personalities. The elite is super vengeful, and then the grunt is just wishing he was at home with his family. Yeah, the aliens have families. This other half of the book could be a game in its own right. Another book that could be a game in its own right is Contact Harvest, which is the very first encounter between humankind and the aliens. The book mostly follows Sgt Johnson, who's a crowd favourite in the Halo community, and you hear a lot more about his character and his background, and he even gets laid.
Oh, I know what the ladies like.
In the book it's kind of funny because they describe it as like a tactical encounter where he's made like strategic mistakes by, you know, touching this or that, and yeah. There's excellent stories of the training missions they go on, training up a secret militia on Harvest to fight the Covenant, which by this point in Halo lore, no one really knows about the Covenant at all, except the Secret Service, I think. And they're obviously keeping it a secret. On the other half of this book, the Prophets, who are the leaders of the Covenant, are manipulating the narrative that the humans are actually the bad guys in the universe, when in actual fact, humans are the things that they've been searching for centuries, which is remnants of their gods, who built the ancient structures and technology that they use. During this, there's a grunt and an engineer that don't agree with what the prophets are doing and the orders that are coming down the line, so they try to warn the humans of Harvest after having to learn their language, while also evading their own forces that are patrolling and getting suspicious of what they're up to. There's amazing fights when there's no Spartans to help them out, because I think at this point they're still being developed, so the humans have to get very creative to kill the stronger, more technologically advanced aliens. There's also an AI love story in here that I literally just remembered now. There's sneaky espionage and massive battles and cinematic moments where they're evacuating humans off in the space elevator as they're trying to defend them. Harvest being an agricultural planet which supplies food for a lot of the UNSC's planets. They don't have any weaponry there. They only have massive agricultural vehicles and drones and stuff, which the AI takes control of sometimes, and it's pretty cool. There's so much backstory to Sgt Johnson that if Halo Studios are too scared to let us play a new character entirely, let's play as him. People love him.
And we most definitely regret the Corps just blew up our raggedy-ass fleet. Hoorah!
If they're too cowardly to do another human story like ODST, there's dozens of interesting Spartan stories that aren't the Master Chief. And speaking of Master Chief, I don't think future Halo games need to be "you're the entire savior of mankind." Look at the wider gaming space, that trend has kind of died out now. It could be a much smaller experience, or a more personal story, or literally anything else. You could even have a game set before the Human Covenant War, when humanity's main threat was the insurrection, which were essentially terrorists that didn't agree with the government taking over worlds, which was the original purpose for the Spartans being developed. Speaking of, Spartans are not strong. They're barely as strong as the average elite, so making a more realistic down-to-earth Halo could be quite interesting. The Halo 5 trilogy is another crowd favourite. I'm one book into this, and I'm already so hyped about it. It's set after the Great Schism, which is when the Covenant falls apart after the Brutes had declared the Prophets Honour Guards, which was typically a role for the elites, and the elites aren't happy about that. And it also kind of goes against their religion, so everyone kind of loses faith in their rulers, and the cracks start to show in the lies that they've been telling. During the chaos of the downfall, all of the different races are just scattered and trying to survive, because their roles in the Covenant were so specialized, like elites being warriors, grunts being grunts. And it was like this for centuries, that their entire races have just lost the ability to do other things than be an entire race on its own, such as the Sangheili, the elites, have to relearn how to farm while scavenging for whatever's left of the Covenant. The book follows 3 ODST, Spartan Naomi and Seren Osman, who's a failed Spartan because her augmentations didn't take, and she's now become second in command at ONI, the Secret Service. We follow them, setting up plots to further destabilize the different alien races as they try and regroup, while pretending to help them in their fight against the Arbiter, who's Keith David, who, by the way, is supported by Lord Hood, the leader of the UNSC. That's the Secret Service plotting against a government that the army supports without them knowing. There's a lot of little skirmishes, there's battles between all the elite factions and tribes, and stressful trading and deals being brokered. And the Kilo 5 team eventually end up at the planet called Onyx, which is a shield world, kind of like Noah's Ark for the Halo rings when they fire. It protects everyone that's in it. And that's a whole other story in itself, I'm not going to get into that. But that could also be a game. There's literally so many options, and I've probably only read about 6 or 7 of the books. And look, they don't have to be FPS games, but imagine like an RPG where you're a Spartan and you have to unlock your abilities, kind of like Halo Infinite, but more RPG. Or you're an elite climbing the ranks of the Covenant, making political dealings. Or a grunt doing the shit jobs that none of the other alien races want to do. Could be a Power Wash Simulator style game. But in the Halo universe, that'd be fun. I'd play that. Maybe you even uncover something and it becomes a different game entirely halfway through. What about an XCOM style turn-based strategy game? Or a Left 4 Dead or State of Decay style zombie game where you have to build bases and defend against the Flood? Or literally, it's so easy, a Dead Space style horror game where you're a human on a flood infested spaceship trying to fix it so you can get home. It's right there. Or a Hitman style espionage game. Or a Plague Inc style game where you're trying to spread the flood. What about a Papers, Please style game where you have to check if aliens are supporters of the Great Journey before letting them into human-controlled space? What about a 2D Metroidvania? Or a Halo Souls-like game would bang. You could be an elite or a brute if you want to go down the melee combat route. Even a Halo Vampire Survivors style game. They have enough content for it already. They've got all the weapons and upgrades. Or a Helldivers 2 style ODST game, which, by the way, apparently they were making years before Helldivers 2 came out, but they canned it because it's too big of a risk. They don't even have to be exactly lore accurate. I don't care, and I'm sure some people don't. And look, at least they've tried with the shows, despite the bad reception. I'm just happy with more Halo content, even if it's an alternate universe and it's not canon or lore accurate. I just love the universe of Halo. Halo Legends is sick. It's an animated anthology like Love, Death, Robots, following a bunch of different Halo stories, like the graphic novels and the comics. There's interesting new characters, interesting quirky stories, and a big-ass Spartan mech suit. The web series are also fun, but they all basically follow the exact same story. This is my problem. It's, oh, we found a ring. Oh, what does it do? We don't know. Let's fight the aliens for a bit. Oh, the Flood. There's so much more that you could do. Even in the graphic novels we see stories of some people on Earth, which, by the way, it's 2552. Earth's going to be so different with the subcultures and groups of people and architecture and anything. Everything that's going on is going to be so different to life today. Why don't we explore that more? And yes, I know. Sadly, the reason is that we don't have any of this content is because the execs at Halo Studios, or whoever runs Halo now, they're too scared to take a risk. They see that the original trilogy is beloved and they want to cash in on it. But by doing so, it just dilutes the pool. I don't mind remakes and remasters, but make something new as well. There's so many good stories in the books, and the community would love new games about them, or more shows about them. Some of them could be turned into shows easily. There's so much source material going underutilized, and it is sad. And I know this with having only read 6 or 7 of them. Like, there's like over 30. 6 of the Halo books is like 6 more Halo games, even if they're just FPS games. They could even do the thing that Warhammer does, where they rent out the IP to different game companies. Sure, it opens it up to quality control issues, but don't we already have that with the games and shows anyway? If anything, from what I've seen of the modding scene, the community are doing far more for Halo than the owners ever have. And that's amazing, but it's still really disappointing that Halo is this goldmine that's just not being used in any official way. I'd even hazard a guess that a lot of the people that love the Halo games have no idea that there's 30 books about it, with so much lore and so much more stories, and emotional stories too. It's not just genetically engineered super soldier fighting aliens, you know? There's good stuff in there. I just had to get that off my chest. If you're into books or a sci-fi fan, try the Halo books. They're not just dumb shooty stories. There's deep lore, interesting characters, and sometimes some deep profound questions about what it means to be human, war, and sacrifice. I literally hadn't read a book in like 15 years before I started reading the Halo books. Trust me, it's good stuff. Let me know what imaginary Halo games you'd like to see in the comments below. Thank you for watching.